So jumping right into it, today I'm going to be reviewing the Tiger Ice Feet as well as comparing them to Corepads and Tiger Arc 2s. However, I'm not going to be including Tiger Arc 1s, Hyperglides, or Hotline Skates or anything else because I've never tried those before, and I wanted to make the comparison as simple and as short as possible without overloading you with information. Big shout out to Lethal Gaming Gear for sending out the Tiger Ice Feet for me to try out. Link for their website will be down in the description and should be your one-stop shop for anything mouse related. So getting into my review and comparison, which I'll be doing both simultaneously so that you're able to keep track a lot easier on the information that I'm giving you. Starting out, I'll be going over the cost between the three mouse feet that I'm going to be talking about. So the Ice Feet are going to run you $7.99 and only comes with one set. The Tiger Arc 2s will run you $6.99 and also only come with one set. And Corepads are going to run you $9.99, but you get two sets. So in my opinion, Corepads are going to be the better value. So right away, seeing the Ice Feet, I could tell a slight color difference compared to the Tiger Arc 2s, which I'll show on screen now. They still have the same nicely rounded edges as the Tiger Arc 2s, but don't seem as thick as Corepads, but that could also just be my set, so take that with a grain of salt. Performance-wise, the Ice Feet are without question the faster performing feet between the three, and on some of the surfaces I tested them on, such as the Raiden Mid, Hien Soft, and Glorious Ice Pad, they were almost too fast for me, but on slower pads like the Zero Soft, Aqua Control Plus, and the Zowie GSR, they were pretty amazing, honestly, and I really enjoyed them. The Ice Feet have a lot of similarities with Corepads, such as being able to feel the texture of a rougher pad like the Hien while moving and swiping around your mouse, which I prefer, have a similar feeling glide in terms of smoothness, and also seem to break in around the same time, which for me takes about 1 to 2 days, depending on how heavily you're going to be using them. Tiger Arc 2s are going to be your more control-based mouse feet out of the three, and are unfortunately my least favorite as well, even though I still like them and I would have no problem using them if they were the only mouse feet that existed. However, the 2s, whenever I've tried them, are definitely the scratchiest sounding, and I'm not a fan of that. I also prefer feeling the texture of my Hien while aiming and swiping my mouse, as I feel it makes me aim and stop better, but in return feel very smooth once they break in. If I'm using a faster pad, I don't mind using the 2s at all, but on pads that I use often, like the Artisan Zero, they're just too slow for me and I don't perform great with them on slower pads. Corepads are going to be your perfect balance between speed and control between the three that I'm mentioning in this video, and my personal favorite even after trying the Ice Feet, which kind of came as a shock to me since I usually prefer speed. Something about Corepads just feels perfect for me, especially after they break in. Fresh out of the box, they're very loud and scratchy sounding as well, which I will showcase my Superlight with brand new Corepads and my Hottie S wired that has broken in Corepads so that you can hear the difference for yourself. As I mentioned earlier, Corepads also seem to be the best value price-wise since you get two sets, but even with that aside, I just love that I'm able to perform the same no matter what pad I'm using when using Corepads. It's a very consistent experience no matter the mouse pad, and I prefer that. Everybody will of course have their own taste and preferences, but I'll continue to use Corepads and probably Ice Feet every once in a while for my mice. So my conclusion is pretty much that Ice Feet are very similar to Corepads. They're just faster, so if you prefer speed, I would recommend going with the Ice Feet. If you prefer control, I'd go with the Tiger Arc 2s, and if you prefer a balance between the two like myself, I would go with Corepads. Also, don't be afraid to try out other kinds that I didn't talk about in this video, like Hyperglides, Tiger Arc 1s, or even the Hotline skates. So there honestly isn't too much else to say about mouse feet. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just mouse feet. So that's going to conclude today's video. I hope it was helpful, and if you liked the video, I would really appreciate liking the video and subscribing. I always forget to say that in my videos. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.